what IGNOU is doing in specific.
Today we will be covering the Essential Commodities Act, and with us we have Dr. K. M. Nath. He is Joint Director in Food Safety and Standards Authority. He did his MSc Food Technology from CFTRI, and then he worked for 4 years in food processing industries. From 1980 onwards, he has worked in different capacities, and now he is with the Food Safety and Standards Authority. I will request him to give detail about the Essential Commodity Acts and the other issues related with this act. Sir, please.
Friends, there are many essential commodities which are used in our day-to-day life, starting from foods, clothes, housing, etc. Various food products, food grains, pulses and other foodstuffs and feeders, housing related like cement, steel, and clothing like jute, cotton, and many other commodities like fuel, petroleum products, kerosene, diesel, then petrol, and other essential commodities like drugs and other pharmaceutical products which are essential to our day-to-day life. But due to some unscrupulous and greedy nature of human being, there could be artificial shortage of these commodities due to hoarding and black marketing of these people. To overcome this, Government of India enacted an act in 1955 called Essential Commodities Act for making these commodities easily available to the common people with a fair price and quality, and to facilitate smooth supply of essential commodities. In this act, government has got power to control production, distribution, sale, trade and marketing and commerce of these essential commodities. After learning these modules, which is one of the modules in your course food safety and quality management, you will able to learn the various aspects of laws related to food, because many of the orders are covered related to food in Essential Commodity Act, which I shall discuss later on. And after completion of this course, as a student of food safety and quality management, you will be able to utilize your knowledge in your profession as a quality control manager in quality control laboratory, or in the food processing factory as a quality control supervisor or manager. There are various sections in the Essential Commodity Act which are the operative parts, which give power to the government to deal with the various order and proper implementation and enforcement of the act and order laid down in the act. The section 1, it is this title, short title called the act is called Essential Commodities Act, and it is extended whole of India. Section 2 defines various terminology. For example, sugar is defined as the commodity containing at least 90% of sucrose. Section 3 stipulate power to the central government to control production, supply, distribution, sale, trade and commerce. This is a very important section in which many of the orders related to foods are promulgated from time to time. Section 4 and 5 gives the power, the imposition of duties to state government or central government, and section 5 delegates give the power to delegation of powers to the appropriate authority designated by state government or central government. Section 6 stipulate the powers to the appropriate authority to confiscate the essential commodity. That means it gives the power to detain or seize the commodity if there is a contravention of any provisions of the order to the authority, and he can then dispose the commodity as he deems fit. But before confiscation, a show cause notice is to be issued to the offenders, which is provides under the section 6b of the act, with giving some time like 1 month to reply. And if his answer reply is not satisfactory, then the authority can take appropriate action. If the action taken by the authority is not satisfactory to the offenders, or he can want to appeal, then he can appeal to the appellate authority under section 6c of the act. Then section 7 stipulates the mode of penalties for any offences, which varies from 3 months to 7 years depending upon the type of offences, and including a penalty which is given by the awarded by the appropriate court. Section 8 it stipulates that attempts and abatement. That means if a person attempts to contravene any provisions of the act, or he abates an offences, abates another offender, he is liable to be punished under the act. Section 9 states that any false statement is given in response to any provision of the act or any order, then this person is liable to be punished under the act for giving such false statement. Section 10 stipulates that the offences is done by any companies. Companies mean a body of corporates engaged in business operation. Then the person responsible, like directors, secretary or manager or any other person authorized by the company, is liable to be punished under the act for any offence committed by a company. Section 11 stipulates cognizance of offences. That means no court can take cognizance of any offence unless the fact is given in writing by a appropriate authority, that is a government servant, as stipulated by section 21 of Indian Penal Code. Section 12 give powers to the state government to constitute special courts for the trial of the offences or prosecution launched by the authority for contravention of any order or provisions of the act. Section 12 stipulates that burden of proof in certain cases. If a person is found to be in possession of any unauthorized commodity, or he is doing any business of unauthorized production or sale of any commodity or any offences, and the burden lies on the offender to prove that the product or commodity he possesses, he is having the by him. It is burden is on him only to prove that it is not unauthorized. Then section 15 stipulate that protection of action taken under the act. That means if an authority takes any action for the contravention of any provision of the act or any offences in performing his duty, then no action can be taken or no prosecution case can be launched to this government or the authority for the action taken in good faith. Section 16 stipulates the repeals and saving clause. That means if an order of the act is repealed for the introduction any other act, then the order is continue to be in force unless another order supersedes the previous order under the new act. For example, some of the orders under Essential Commodities Act are going to be repealed due to introduction or enactment of Food Safety and Standard Acts 2006, but these orders like food product order or meat product order will continue to be in force unless these orders are repealed and superseded by a new order under the Food Safety and Standard Act. So these are the some of the clauses or section which are the operative parts as how to implement and enforce the various provisions of the act or orders. Now coming to various control orders under the Essential Act. As I mentioned earlier that there is many commodities covered under Essential Act starting from food product to non-food products which are essential in our day-to-day life. But I will concentrate my discussion on food product or foodstuffs. Some of the order related to control order related to food products which are enacted or promulgated under Essential Commodities Act are Food Product Order 1955, Meat Food Products Order 1973, Milk and Milk Products Order 1992, Edible Oil Packing Regulation Order 1998, Vegetable Oil Products Regulation Order 1998, Solvent Extracted Oil, De-oil Meal and Edible Flour Control Order 1967, Sugar Control Order 66, Levy Sugar Control Order 79, Sugar Packing and Marking Order 1970, Food Grains Prohibition of Use and Manufacture of Starch Order 1966. I will discuss some of the orders or one or two orders in detail because basic requirement of almost all of the orders for manufacturing of products are almost same. Basic requirement is hygienic requirements, and I will touch upon some other orders in brief so that you can understand what are the basic hygienic requirements for manufacturing of any product under the Essential Commodity Act. Number one is the Food Product Order 1955. This order was promulgated under Essential Commodity Act under section 3 of the Act. For this order is related to foods and vegetable products. This order covers almost all foods and vegetable products manufactured by any methods like methods of preservation like canning, freezing, dehydration, or using chemical preservatives or by natural preservative like salt or sugar, and some non-food product like synthetic syrup, sarbat, synthetic vinegar and sweetened aerated water are also covered under this order. This order has been so far implemented and enforced by Directorate of Foods and Vegetable Preservation, Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Now it has been transferred to Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. To manufacture any products covered under this order may require a license under this order. There are certain requirements, basically hygienic requirements to set up a factory and to obtain food product order or FPO license. For example, location of the factory. To set up a factory, one should see whether location of the factory or surroundings are clean or not. There should not be any filthy surroundings or any factory which are repugnant to food product, that is hazardous. For example, hazardous chemical factory should not be adjacent to food processing factory. Minimum area for production and storage. Depending upon daily install capacity and annual production, the factories are categorized as home scale, cottage scale, small scale and large scale. For each category, there are certain area specified for production and storage. Sanitary and hygienic conditions of the premises. For construction of food processing factory, one should see that construction is made such a way that it permits hygienic production. Floor, wall and ceiling should be constructed or laid down such a way that it should permit easy cleaning. All doors and windows should be properly fire-proof, rodent-proof, and some arrangement for proper lighting and ventilation, drainage, waste disposal facilities to be provided in the factory premises. Then factory personnel hygiene. The personnel or workers engaged in production should be medically examined. They should be free from contagious or infectious diseases. They should provide they should wear neat and clean dress, apron, head wears and hand gloves, and it should be ensured that they are not having the long nail or any other this food also. They should not be in bare foots, or they should clean their hands and foots before entering into the processing hall. As far as possible, they should be provided with a change room. Then water is an important ingredient for food processing factory, particularly fruits and vegetable processing factory, because it constitutes not only it required not only for washing and cleaning of fruits and vegetables, it is one of the basic ingredients of most of the product. So water should be potable as per Bureau of Indian Standard, and adequate water should be supplied provided in the processing hall with overhead tank and other. Water treatment, as far as possible, water treatment plant also should be installed for particularly for manufacturing of sweet and aerated water. Machinery and equipment. The machinery and equipments used for manufacturing of fruits and vegetable product should be so designed that it permits easy cleaning and hygienic production. Required machinery and equipment should be provided for manufacturing of particular products. Machinery equipments should not occupy more than 50% of the area in the processing hall. Then quality control facility. There should be minimum quality control facility provided in the factory. For small and large scale factory, there should be a quality control laboratory of at least 20 square meter area with a qualified chemist. Then after factory is set up as per FPO requirement, then license is granted. Then after license is granted, one should start production, and the products some manufacturers should be as per quality standards laid down in the order. There are different standards for each of the products. I am not going to detail in this. There are physical standards like color, structure, and the product should be free from foreign matter. Chemical standard like total soluble solid, acidity, and other total juice content, juice or pulp content in the product. There are microbial limits of yeast, mold, and bacterial count, and limits for additives, preservative, heavy metals, etc. Then packaging materials also specified in the food product order. The packaging material should be as per food grade standard of BSI. Packaging material of glass, PET bottle or any suitable flexible packaging material may be used of food grade standards. Then coming to labeling requirements, after manufacturing of products, the container of the product should be properly labeled with necessary and mandatory declaration for the benefit of the consumer. Labeling requirements generally should conform as per Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954 and Prevention of Food Adulteration Rules 1955, and also Package Commodities Act and Package Weight and Measure Rules 1977. Then coming to Meat Products Order 1973. This order is also so far implemented by Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Now it is under FSSI. For any food products, value added food products using any method of preservation like canning, freezing, dehydration, smoking or salting, a license under meat product order is required. The basic requirement of licensing is that of food product order, because all hygienic condition almost same. But in case of meat product, since it is a very highly perishable product, the care should be taken for handling of raw meat, because most of the unit are not having their own slaughterhouses. So care should be taken for transportation of raw meat from the slaughterhouses or from poultry to the processing hall, maintaining cold chain. So depending upon the handling of raw material or availability of slaughterhouse, the factories of meat processing under meat product order has been categorized into A, B or C category. A category factory are those the factory which are having their own slaughterhouse for manufacturing of any food products. B category factories are those which factories do not have their own slaughterhouse but procure meat from other slaughterhouse which are authorized by municipal corporation or municipal committee. And C category factories are those factories which do not have own slaughterhouse, or they do not have the municipal slaughterhouse nearby and use meat from poultry meat or pig meat. These are categorized as C category. Fish processing is also covered under this category. During 2005, the production of fish products is also covered under meat product order by an amendment. Then other hygienic requirements are almost same as I already mentioned. Labeling requirement is also more or less same, except 2 points they should be clearly mentioned in the label in case of meat products. That is, number one, category of the license to be mentioned on the label, whether it is A category and B category or C category. And second, if monosodium glutamate is added in the meat product as a flavoring agent, then there should be a clear and conspicuous declaration on the label that it contains monosodium glutamate and not fit for infants below 12 months. So these are the special labeling requirements in the meat product. Depending upon the category of the factory, there are different fees specified, licenses specified in this order. Then coming to milk and milk products order 1992. For manufacturing of liquid milk and packing of liquid milk, pasteurized milk and milk products, one has to obtain license under this order. But manufacturing or handling of milk up to 10,000 liter per day and milk solid up to 500 metric ton per annum, this registration or license is not required. Above 10,000 liter of liquid milk or 500 metric ton of milk solid, a registration under state government or central government depending upon the quantum of production is required. The products cover under this order is all liquid milk, pasteurized milk, and milk product like dahi, ghee, paneer, butter. All value-added products are covered under this order. Registration requirement: since milk is a very highly perishable commodity, the registration requirement with hygienic conditions should be strictly maintained from procurement to processing to distribution of milk or milk products, maintaining a cold chain. As I already mentioned, the requirement of registration above 10,000 liter of milk per day or 500 metric ton of milk solid per annum, registration is required. There are two registering authority. One is state registering authority, the unit which are handling less than 2 lakhs, more than 10,000 and less than 2 lakhs liter of milk per day, and more than 500 metric ton of solid milk and less than 10,000 of metric ton of solid milk per annum is registered under state registering authority designated by particular state government. And the unit which are processing more than 2 lakhs liter of milk per day and more than 10,000 metric tons of solid milk per annum is registered under central registering authority. So these are and there are some amendments also. This milk products order made recently, in which this licensing period is reduced from 90 days to 45 days, and inspection of cow shed and other things also has been exempted for licensing requirements. Then coming to vegetable oil products, there are 3 orders under vegetable oil products, oil and oil products. One is vegetable oil products regulation order 1998. This is implemented by Directorate of Vegetable Vanaspati Vegetable Oil and Fats, Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Government of India. Eligibility of grant of registration is basic requirement is that one unit should be equipped with processing facilities, and unit should be equipped with laboratory with qualified chemist of having at least BSc with chemistry as one of the subjects, and other hygienic and sanitary requirements, as I mentioned, almost same to other food product. Edible oil packing regulation order 1998. This order is actually implemented by state governments for packing of any edible oil of any kind of plant origin. This registration under this order is required. The state edible oils commissioner is the registering authority. Eligibility for grant of registration is same as mentioned earlier. Unit should be equipped with processing facilities and equipped with a laboratory with chemist having BSc with chemistry on one of the subject. Then third is the solvent extracted oil, de-oiled meal and edible flour control order 1966. This order is also implemented and enforced by Directorate Vanaspati Vegetable Oil and Fats, Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Public Distribution, Government of India. Depending upon category of the facility available for solvent extraction, pre-cleaning of oil seeds and refining of oil, factories are categorized into A, B, C, D and D. The unit which is having facility for solvent extraction and also pre-cleaning of oil seeds is categorized as A category factory, and the unit which is having solvent extraction, pre-cleaning and also refining facility is categorized as B category. The unit which is having only solvent extraction facility is categorized as C category. But a unit is having solvent extraction and also engaged in business of refined oil is categorized as C category, and the unit is having neither of the solvent extraction or refining facility, still is engaged in business of refined oil or de-oil mill, edible flour mill, is categorized as E category. The depending upon category, there are designated officer which is we call controller appointed by the Directorate of Banaspati and Vegetable Oil. One is to apply to the department for registration of their unit. So these are the some of the orders covered under Essential Commodities Act. I have discussed this order because all these orders are now implemented by Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, because this introduction of this Food Safety and Standard Act 2006, these orders are going to be repealed, but unless it is repealed, it will be continued in force unless a new order or new standards under the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India are specified. So it may take time, but till then these orders will be continued in force. So some of the common features of the orders are that all the orders require license or registration to the issued by the appropriate authority as designated by state government or central government. All the orders specified hygienic and sanitary parameters for manufacturing of the products, and all the orders specify minimum quality standards laid down in individual orders, and all the orders also specify labeling requirements which should be followed as per PFA Act 1954 or PFA Rules 1955 and Packaging Commodities Act and Rules 1977, and all the others laid down a set of forms. For example, Form A for application for registration or licensing, and then Form B in which license is granted, and Form C in which annual production return is to be submitted to the appropriate authority. Though this specifies this set of forms to be maintained and submitted. So these are the some of the order under Essential Commodity Act. I hope after completion of the course and learning these requirements of the registration or licensing, particularly the hygienic requirement and minimum quality standard laid down in this order, you will be able to learn and utilize your knowledge in your future career as a quality control manager in a food processing factory or quality control laboratory. For detail, you can refer various order or Essential Commodity Act, and also you can refer the PFA Act in which most of the orders are also laid down, because PFA is the Murder Act, which is also going to be repealed due to introduction of essential this Food Safety and Standard Act 2006. Hope you can learn, and I wish all the best and success as a student of the course Food Safety and Food Safety and Quality Management.
Thank you.
Thank
you, sir, for covering very comprehensively. Maybe we can share some of the salient features with the farmers, with the students. The Essential Commodity Act, like you mentioned, it is for so that the consumers can get the essential commodities which are required for them, and the quality, and at the required price they should get the commodities. Probably this was the
Yes, main idea.
main idea was
the introduction.
so that there is no hoarding is there. The government can control the hoarding of the things, and all the essential items, like you started with the food, then housing, then drugs. So those are covered under the Essential Commodities Act. But then we only shared with them with the orders which are with the food related items there. So then there are different. We also introduced different sections are there. From section 1 to there are around 12
16.
16 sections are there, and each sections define very well that what is the purpose is there. Then we also discussed the like fruit product order. Sir, in the fruit product order, maybe like you have worked in a different capacity as a quality. If someone is working as a food safety officer, or then particularly if he has to inspect the any fruit and vegetable processing in licensing unit, so what in the hygienic aspects, can you give some examples that what exactly you check, so that are the cleaning of the personnel, how do we check, and what type of standards are given, like you have given like total solubles, total soluble solids and all those things, whether these standards are same as in PFA or BAS, or fruit product order contains their own standards. Can you please explain?
Yeah, regarding hygienic conditions of the factory, when we inspect a factory, we see whether approach of the factory is clean or not, and it is open or common approach, or surrounding is clean or not, or any repugnant factory is there which is hazardous to food product. And then inside the factory we see whether doors and windows are properly fly proofed, because fly, this fruits and vegetable, they attract flies. So it is whether it is all doors and windows are properly fly proofed or not, all the material are properly covered or not, and then floor is properly laid down with cemented or tiles, or walls is properly cemented. Up to 5 feet height of walls in the production hall should be tiled or oil painted, so that it is impervious, that means it can be washed properly, because the particle of food adhered to the walls. And then we see whether drainage is properly clear or not, or it is choked, so that the accumulation of this effluent water, the way for the growth of microbes. And then we see whether the waste are disposed as a frequent interval of time. There should be pit outside the processing hall where it should be disposed periodically, 1 hour, after 1 hour or 2 hours, and then it should be carried by municipal truck, or the factory should have their own arrangement to dispose of their effluent. Some factories are also having their effluent treatment plant. These are the aspects we see, and then we see whether workers are wearing aprons, because this may contaminate with the hair, and apron and head hairs, and wearing hand gloves, and whether we check the medical record, whether they are medically examined, whether worker is having any contagious disease like skin disease. So these are the safety measures we checked in a factory.
These are all are mentioned in the food product order.
Food product all are mentioned, and we check this whether it is
there, and even these are to be checked for the cottage or small scale, or
in all category.
In
but
all
certain thing it is not compulsory for home scale and cottage scale. For example, laboratory is only for small scale and large scale factory, and chemist also specified it is BSc with chemistry, or even large scale factory he should be BTech in food technology. But home scale and cottage scale we don't insist. Experienced person will do, because it may not be practicable. And regarding standards, you mentioned individual products, the specific standards are specified. For example, mango juice. So minimum percentage of juice is specified. It should be 45% of pulp, and minimum total soluble solid should be 10. So it is mentioned, and this should not be, product should not be show any sign of bacterial growth on incubation at 37 degrees centigrade for 3 days, and they should be free of foreign matter. For example, gem also the minimum total soluble solid is prescribed as 68% and minimum percentage of fruit content is 45%. Similarly, all products these are mentioned. For tomato ketchup, the microbial standards are also specified, yeast
and
mold content.
But the labeling requirements is to be met by the
but we FPO also specify labeling requirement, but overall it should be met under PFA. For example, food product, the labeling basic requirement like name of the product should be mentioned in the label, then FPO number, monogram should be declared, then ingredients should be declared a descending order of proportion. For example, in case of gem, the 68% TSS means around 65% sugar is added. So sugar should be written in first number and then pulp or juice.
Pulp and juice.
Then code number or batch number should be given. Batch before use, 6 months or 1 year should be given. Minimum, maximum retail price is to be declared. Then name and address of the factory should be declared properly. If the product is for export, then it should be written clearly that it is produce of India or product of India. And most important, if the in case of preservatives and other artificial coloring matter, their statement should be given separately, not under ingredient, that it contains artificial color or synthetic color or class 2 preservatives, clearly given.
And the packaging
Also already I mentioned, it should be packaging material should be as per BIS standard, BIS specification of food grade.
Food grade should be there.
Yes.
So this is about the one of the. So we have also explained one of the fruit product order, which it is applicable to all the
almost all similar, because manufacturing process is same hygienic conditions, except some cases I mentioned like meat product, because meat is highly perishable, and meat and fish, and it is procured for fish or meat procured from outside. Unlike fruits and vegetables, okay, it procured from mandi or from direct from orchard, but it is not that highly perishable.
Yes. And what is the period of license? Is for an annual basis or it is?
No, license is given initially for 1 year and then it is renewed after one year. For a period of 1 year, 3 years or 10 years, the block renewal is allowed in case of fruit product. In case of meat product and milk product, it is 3 years.
It is 3 years.
Yes.
So for 10 years block year, do you go for the in between inspection?
Inspection we go.
And the product also do you?
Product you go for inspection to ensure the maintenance of hygienic and sanitary standard laid down on the order, and also we draw random samples and send for analysis. If it is non-conforming, we send notice to the manufacturer.
So in the order it is that you can draw the standards from the samples from the outside, and you can
market also.
And the last is what about the nutritional labeling which is coming into enforce? How does it is?
Nutrition. That is I mentioned that labeling requirement should meet the requirements of PFA. The PFA have already notified a draft notification there. It was to be implemented from 19th of March. I think so far as my knowledge goes, it is not in force. The time has been extended.
So friends, will conclude this. Thank you very much for joining us.